people, welcome back to another Fwoosh overview. Tonight I'm taking a look at the Fwoosh's articulated icons, the Feudal series Shōken, or Shōken, heroic martial artist. I should be more up on the names and the backstories on these guys, but all through this process I've been focused on the figures themselves. But when I have all of these in hand and everybody else has theirs in hand, then I can buckle down, learn all the names, learn the backstory. I'll know who to put with who, you know what I mean? But looking at the box, very minimalistic, the white, the logo, the name of the character, the focus is on the figure itself. And something I forgot to point out last week with the ninja, all of these figures are packaged in a neutral position. There's less chance of warped limbs, warped joints, you know, that kind of thing. On the side you have pretty Matt K picture. On the back you have all the rest of the characters and then the backstory for the line itself. And then on the other side you have the backstory on the character himself. I had a couple of comments on the ninja packaging of how small the font is on the side. I bet my man thing, editor on the Fwoosh front page, he wrote all this up and the story was so good we didn't want to leave anything out. And then, of course, another beautiful Matt K picture. On the bottom, there's credits, and on the top, there's just the logo. Another thing I forgot to show last week with the Ninja is the insert that goes into the back of the package. Now, if you're wanting to get the figure out, but then rebox it later, just open the flap on the top and you pull out the insert with the figure. That leaves the background inside, and it makes it a little bit easier to put back in the box. But if you want to pull this out, it does work as kind of a background to your figures if you wanted to use it like that. They'll also come with this Ziploc baggie with the articulated icons logo on it. Something to keep all your accessories together. And there we go, all out of the package. When it comes down to it, this is a completely different sculpt from the Ninja, except for the thighs. There is some reuse there, but it makes it look different because of the lower leg being an open pants. And then of course the bare feet. The sleeves being up a little bit on the forearm. And then under the gi is the bare chest. All the sculpt is in place, the wrinkles look nice, the proportions look good. The factory did a good job of reproducing the sculpt in its entirety. And then of course the factory paintwork. There's some dry brush to the skin tone. It kind of makes the details pop a little bit. And then there's a dirtiness to the gi itself. It's not just straight white. And then the black belt, it has blue highlights to it. So all over the figure, it's not just one straight color, it's layered. And then for the face, the eyes have pupils, it has highlights in it. It's really nice detail. They did a great job at the factory. On the hairpiece, there's two different colors here. It's a black base and then it has brown paint over it. Now I'm not going to pull the gi off since it's a final painted sample. I don't want to get too crazy with it, but in the final product, you'll be able to get the arm pack, pop the arms off here, take this off if you want to, have the bare chest, the baggy legs. A lot of combinations you can do. Now I do have this unpainted sample, and this is what the chest will look like without the gi on it. And then with the arm pack, you have the bare arms. You have the arm wraps that you can either take on or off. I'd show you what the arms look like on here, but on this sample, the arms don't pull out too easily. But that was fixed in between the transition from this to this. So final painted samples, the arms pop off easily, and then on the final product, it would be the same way. For articulation, there's a ball at the top of a hinge, so you get down. You have up, the hair is kind of rubbery, so it doesn't hinder too much right there. You have a little bit of tilt, and then swivel side to side. Hinge and swivel at the shoulder, hinge all the way up to 90, and then swivels around. Swivel at the bicep. Double elbow, because of the looseness of the gi, there is a little bit of hinder right there, but it still comes up pretty damn far. Swivel, hinge, swivel, or the ball top joint at the wrist. You can set that to hinge any direction you want, side to side, up and down, and then there's swivel. There's a hinge mid-torso. With the gi, it restricts it just a little bit. You can get him down. The gi is soft, so it does crunch over. But I'll show you on here, on the bare chest, it gets over pretty good. Then it gets back. It starts to show right there, but it's not terrible. You get to about right there. If you want to get side to side, you can kind of turn, and then it hinges, and then you can get range of movement. There's a swivel at the waist, hidden under here. Hinge and swivel at the hip. It gets out pretty much 90. You can do the splits. Forward, like I said, the gi is kind of rubbery, so it gets out of the way. Back, about that far. Butt sculptor gets in the way. Swivel at the thigh. Double knee, the baggy pants kind of get in the way, but it gets back pretty far. Swivel where the leg meets the pants right there. Hinge at the ankle, gets back that far, gets forward that far. And forward facing pin for rocker. For accessories, even though this figure doesn't come with a separate hairpiece, you can switch hairpieces between the different figures in the line. It comes off, it has a pin, it pegs into the back. So you can pin in like the top knot from the Ninja, or I have this hairpiece from this unpainted sample, and they can just pop right on into the peg. So if you want to switch it up, you can switch those out pretty easy. Or if you don't mind the hole in the back, you can just keep him bald. For the other accessories, this figure has passed through several sets of hands. Some of them had to be sent back to the factory. Some of them may have got mixed with the other figures. So I'm just going to go through what Indy included in this box. There was a set of fists. As always, I like the fists. These are fighting figures. They need to punch. There's two kind of open, I call these Bruce Lee hands, kind of the pinky and thumb out, a loose grip, kind of a a loose fighting stance type hand. Two open palm karate chop hands, and then two gripping hands. And the gripping hands are to hold the sai. It's a nice little sculpt. It has a nice metal paint job on it. The wraps on the handle look good. And then it comes with the two nightsticks. I call them nightsticks, the fighting clubs, whatever they are. And then finally, a bow staff was included. Now, I was asked to compare this figure with the Ryu or Ken from the Soda Street Fighter line. I don't have either of those figures anymore, so here's this. It gives you an idea of what it looks like with that Street Fighter line. Here he is with the DC Universe Classics Bronze Tiger. That line always scaled big. It's very high side of the 6-inch scale. So this is going to skew small for your DC figures. Here he is with the Iron Fist from the Doctor Strange Legends line. And with Shōken next to him, it fits pretty good. And here he is compared to the Ninja from last week. So at the end of the day, I have to admit that the martial artists weren't high on my list. My list contained all the figures. I want all of them. I need all of them for the shelf. But there was the samurai, there were the ninjas, the warrior monk, the modern. They were all above the martial artist. But getting this guy out of the package, the bulk to him, and if this makes any sense, the martial artist feels like there's some muscle behind him. There's a thickness to it. It's a little more satisfying in the hands, and I'm not taking anything away from the ninja whatsoever, I swear. I think the hair adds a nice dynamic to the figure, but then on top of all that, there's the customizing potential of this figure. You have the bare chest underneath. You have the bare feet that could be used for a lot of other characters from other properties. When I get to the samurai, probably next week, I'll show you how easy it is to pop the feet off even. They don't just fall off. It takes a little effort, but popping the feet and putting these on other figures or making the pegs adaptable, yeah, you're going to be able to do that too. So yeah, pulled this out of the box, that excitement once I started posing him around, doing different karate poses, martial artist poses. It surprised me, and I've been looking at this figure for a long, long time. To have it in hand, yeah, it was a surprise. Now I'm excited about getting the Evil Sensei and the Drunken Master, just to have them all kind of in one big karate fight. So next week I'll take a look at the samurai, but I'll have to stop playing with the martial artists first. So if you like this review, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.